Nyambura. Habari ya jioni wakuu.
Hello, good evening. I'm doing good. I thank God. I hope nanyi pia mko salama.
Miguda, wewe habari gani?
I'm good, and greetings from my end, and I hope you are also doing great over there. I'm actually doing good, and I'm managing very well.
Have you planned to go to Homa Bay yet, or you are still planning? Because we are soon.
Actually, it is very important. You have asked me a very good question for the start, and let me just expound it a little bit. I'm actually going to Homa Bay. Today I sat with a certain area MCA, and we discussed a lot. He told me that let me just brief the viewers and you people, the two of you, because we haven't speak. Actually inform me, Ruto is going to be in Migori from Thursday. That is this week, Thursday. Ruto is going to meet the MCAs for Migori County Assembly. Then from Thursday up to next week, Tuesday, he will be around. And I'll be going to Madaraka Day on Sunday. I've made programs. I'll be there. And also, I'm likely going to spend night there because I have also relatives around. And on Monday, we are also going to watch the derby, Gor Mahia versus AFC Leopard. So it's going to be in Homa Bay, that Raila Odinga Stadium. It's going to be a long weekend. Thus, I have to brief our viewers.
Okay, thank you so much. And just to make sure that when we come live, you need to give us to usikize ground inasemaje, and we will be expecting more information from you. Let me take this opportunity to thank Brenda and also to thank Gibson Corner for joining us on the discussion of today. Gentlemen, it is another Tuesday evening. This is Evening Drive, where we discuss issues that are trending and about the leadership of the country and what are the solutions that await us. Today, something happened that is very unusual, especially in Parliament, before we talk about Natembeya, because Natembeya yesterday had a tour to the Mlembe Nation, and the reception was massive. And I think he has sent a message to the political field, or the people who are in the political class, including Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Masika Wetangula, of what is on the ground, and they need now to start finding way on how to encounter the Tawe movement. Today the minority leader, Honorable Junet Mohammed, suspended the business of the day and brought in a motion to discuss the conduct of the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. And this was about his remarks that he made about the election of 2027. And, this is some subject that has been on the space. People have been discussing about it, especially the leaders. I've seen of how even like Junet Mohammed at some point called a district, he's calling it that DCP, district political party, something of the sort. And I don't know how it is and nicknamed or say that this is a tribal party. And we've talked about, especially when it comes to our political parties. And I think for now, I think like so many Kenyans are informed, especially when they look at and they've studied our political parties, and they would agree that most of our political parties, they are tribal. We have to agree on that, because when each and every political party comes from a region, and the political parties has always been used, especially to bargain for positions in the country. When you look at the democracy of the political parties, where you find that a certain political party, like for instance, if just to expound a little bit, it is very rare to find somebody from ODM party to win a seat in Ukambani, whereby the Wiper is the dominant. It is very rare. The same way, it is not very easy to find a Wiper candidate winning an elective seat in areas that are dominated by the ODM or or not ODM, by any other political party. So I think it's something that I think the public now knows. Even the other day, I was listening to Arama. Arama said it well, that all these political parties are tribal. And he said that we are also waiting for Matiang'i to come up with a party of our own. So even though if they discuss about the issue of tribe and of the political party, but I know so many Kenyans now know exactly what our political parties are made of. Let me take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Miguda and maybe to also give the view on the discussion that they've suspended the business of the day and to discuss the remarks made by Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Miguda, what is your take?
Okay, my take is very simple. Today being Tuesday, you understand that today is one of the fundamental days in the parliament, because Tuesday and Thursday we usually expect businesses to go on in the house, and also we expect debate and robust conversation for the development of this country as the lawmakers. And that was a very bad thing in my view, to suspend the house business to discuss the status of ex-deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. And the reason why I have to differ with these people, not that I'm different with them because maybe I dislike them. No, I like them actually. You know, even Junet is one of my good friends, so I can't sometimes disagree with him. But you understand that the people have been telling us that we people, we should not discuss the people into the house. Even the time they wanted to discuss Orengo, they won at hand, did not discuss Orengo. And they have won many times and don't even discuss former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Why did they allow to discuss the ex-deputy Rigathi Gachagua, a person that is contrary to the standing orders in the house? But when they want to discuss about these things to do with the political party, I don't see a reason why they have a problem with the DCP, because even the way you have just stated categorically that even Wiper is dominant in Ukambani, and it's not easy for ODM to get seats in Ukambani. That is what Rigathi is trying to do. That let me also make a political party for the region, because other regions also have their political party, so that no one can penetrate into my region easily, and also trying to bargain politically. And when we're discussing the DCP, maybe this political party, these things have been there. People are trying to tarnish Gashagua's moves, but Gachagua already has made a move, so they're trying to tarnish. But what I can just say is that because previously they never used to talk about Gachagua, but now they can suspend the house business, discuss Gachagua as a person. It means now Gachagua is a force to reckon, because it is not easy. Why can't they discuss Kalonzo? Why can't they suspend the house business, discuss Matiang'i? Why are they only discussing Gachagua? Because it's a force to reckon. He has already made a base, and people are now recognizing. And even if you watch the mainstream media, when they were anytime they report, they are reported like the DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua. It's now being referred as the DCP party leader, not ex-deputy president. So at least he has a party and is a party leader. I think that's why people like Junet have suspended the house business to discuss the person of ex-deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. But let them always be principled people, because they have also warned us not to discuss people in parliament. I don't know what has happened today. Are they being the Tuesday? I think that is how I can view. And I've been supporting, and I've been very consistent that let us enjoy our multiple democracy, and even if it is possible, even we can have party for the Mijikenda if they like, even the Ogiek, provided that they are confined with the laws of the country.
I agree with you, provided that the law of the country allows you. You know, the other day when we were talking about political party, and I think it was my good friend Marco Bura who told us like there are around 91 registered political parties, 91 of them that are registered. And some of them are coming from a particular region. They do not have the face value. And that is a challenge that we've been having as a country. Majority of our political parties do not have that face value, whereby not the face value really, but the value of the country, whereby you can go to maybe if you go to Garissa, you will find, having the same population, that is something that we do not have. Another thing that also we have to agree about our political parties, Rigathi Gachagua has learned the art of politics of this nation. Yeah, he has, and he has mastered the art of politics. One of the things that he has mastered, we've said it here, that for you to be very, very, very tactful or to be recognized in the field of political Kenya, in the field of Kenyan's politics, you have to have a political party. And the political party with members of parliament give you a chance to negotiate for position at the national table. Yeah, that's why if you look at even the Speaker of National Assembly, Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula, he has Ford Kenya. But if you look at Ford Kenya, this is a party that he inherited, especially these are the parties that were formed, before even the immediately after the multi-party was introduced, But when you look at the face value, where do they get the majority of their MPs, members of parliament? Where, if you might count, the majority of members of their parliament come from their region. And what does that one say? So I think Rigathi Gachagua has mastered the politics and he has mastered the art of playing, and he has come the center stage of discussion. And the influence, maybe his influence is growing so at a higher rate that is making especially the political class to say, hey, how comes that the person that we impeached now is getting these political airwaves and people keep on discussing him? That's one without talking about the remarks of 2027 remarks that he made. And that one also, we can also refer. We would say that the MPs are not doing the exact job that they should do. And I wish if they were discussing this, they should bring even to the ones that were said with other parliamentarians, especially that we know how to manufacture ears. Those are some of the things. If atakuwa nashindwa tukiwa wapi, tukifanya wapi, kishindikana tutajaza, when now those are some of the things also you have to bring and suspend the house business, so that when you discuss it in the national house, everybody should be held accountable, especially when they talk of issues to do with election. Mr. Makobura, sorry for taking a long time.
Okay, first, thank you. Allow me to say hi to Gypsy Corner, the comment section, and to Brenda Obedi also at the comment section. And to everyone who is watching us, this is just a reminder that this is for the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching for the first time, kindly just like and subscribe to the channel, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us and we'll really appreciate. On the matter of the motion that was taken to the parliament this afternoon by the minority leader, Junet Mohammed, to me, I want to criticize that move, because the people of Kenya have serious things to discuss. The people of Kenya are going through a lot. Part of the problems that the people of Kenya are going is, issues to do with unemployment, issues to do with corruption among the political class, issues to do with poor governance, poor infrastructure, issues to do with high cost of living, high cost of education, and so many. Currently, they are trying to bring a bill, finance bill, and that finance bill has so many things that the people of Kenya wants to get to understand. They really want to understand what is in that particular bill. Instead of the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya discussing such kind of matters, you also saw what is going on, the conflict between Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania, for example, where you saw members of Tanzania coming out to criticize the people of Kenya and their moves, that is, and even threatening the people of Kenya while they were giving their speech. Those are some of the things that I thought this parliament would discuss. But it is so unfortunate that instead of talking about important things which are seriously affecting the people of Kenya, they are reducing themselves too low to discussing the character of an impeached deputy president, someone who is in the opposition side. And even if you try to look into why they were discussing this particular individual, you find that just because they have different political views, just because they feel that this gentleman is getting known by the people of Kenya, now they want to come up and start discussing his character. I don't think that is something very meaningful to them and to the people of Kenya. But one thing that I think is not really good. And I wish these are politicians, they know what is good and what is not good.
Yeah.
By just discussing that particular individual, it is a way of advertising Rigathi Gachagua and his new party. That is the fact of the matter, because the moment you take time to discuss the personality of an individual, while trying to attach him with things which are normal in the Republic of Kenya, normal in the sense that we have people in government, members on the side of government speaking about similar things, and according to them, they take them as normal. Why is it that now they want to attach this individual and to make him, the topic of discussion at that particular time? There are so many things that the people of Kenya needs or wants the parliament to discuss. Speaking about Rigathi Gachagua's party and him and his character, I don't think those are very essential thing to the people of Kenya. And of course, I understand the all of that. The all of what they were speaking about is that he's defiant. He has defied the call by the NCIC to attend that particular ndio aende huko aojiwe. But the question you're asking is, why double standard? Why do you call others and then you leave others? And not just that, why are they not being genuine to the people of Kenya? In the sense that we have quite a number of members of parliament who have spoken badly to the people of Kenya, spoken things that can divide the peace and, widen the gap of tribalism and everything in the Republic of Kenya. Why are they not calling these members of parliament, and they're part of that parliament? Why are they not being called out? Why are they not being told this was not right? To me, I want to agree with Rigathi Gachagua saying that it was not necessary for him to go to that particular NCIC, whatever call, because it is not a genuine call. It is a double standard way of governing, and it simply shows that in Kenya, every department which is actually independent, like NCIC, they are trying to play political match, whereby if you are not on the side of the government, then you're okay, you can speak anything negative, but you're in the opposition side, they will come for you. I don't think that is how things should go. And so personally, I condemn that, what the parliament was doing. The people of Kenya are going through a lot. Let them discuss matters which can improve the lives of the people of Kenya.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm seeing Mr. Laban Misiani. How are you doing, sir? Thank you so much for joining us this evening in our conversation. One of the conversation we are having is about the parliament, through minority leaders, suspending the business of the day and to discuss the conduct and the remarks made by the Rigathi Gachagua, especially concerning the 2027 general election, where I think everybody knows that the day he was having an interview with one of the YouTuber content creators, Oga Obina. Yeah, so it's something that it was taken to parliament. Marco Buddha, something that also I did not see happening. When we're talking about the election violence, especially Kenya has seen it all, and especially Kenyan people have really suffered. And in the process of suffering, some of them have not seen justice, And how I wish that if the matter of what Rigathi Gachagua was saying could have also be accompanied, and see how are we going to compensate, especially those who have undergone post-election violence, the traumas, the compensation and all that. But you find that they just concentrate on one person. That is one. Then secondly, you've talked about for the body that is governing the, especially for the hate speech, Okay, I know it's a body that has been given mandate by our constitution to do that. But now, how can we move together as a country if they feel, or if it is felt that the Rigathi Gachagua, what the remarks he made were inflammatory, or were kind of like might cause violence, especially in 2027, then what about all other people who have made it? Those who have made those remarks. Why can't we? I'm not saying that Rigathi Gachagua should not go there, to attend it, but I'm saying, why can't we make it a universal, whereby everybody who has made remarks that are not that are not peace giving, or that might not give peace to the country, should be subjected to search, and even should be discussed in parliament, you know, the way they are doing to Rigathi Gachagua. I think that one would even make more conversation quite much interesting, because this is something that has caught the national attention and now discussed in parliament. But if you are very selective, how are we helping the country anyway, if you are very selective? Mr. Mikoda.
You have just initiated the issue of people being selective, and that's why I want to delve into my point and saying that is what I refer to as selective justice, whereby justice are being done selectively, and justice should be done not only selectively, but it also be what can be seen done. Justice must be done and seen done. I think that is the principle of right to justice, and also justice should be transformative, whereby even if there was some atrocity committed long time ago, there should be a system whereby victims must be compensated even after a long time or after a long period of time. Even the issue of the ICC, whereby the suspects were acquitted, but the victims were never compensated. To me, justice was not done to victims, even though the suspect or get their way out of the court, but the victims were never compensated to date. Justice must always be seen to be done, and it also must be transformative, even whether it was committed which time of age, it must be seen done. When you talked about the people who have been talking about or inciting people or spreading propaganda, have never been even charged or brought to book. That is what we refer to as that they want you, that you don't have that freedom of expression. If you express yourself the way you want or the way you feel, they want to control your thinking. They want to control how you should express yourself. You either express yourself according to our will, or we apply the criminal justice system to you. Those are the things that we must say, that we must continue to fight, and we must not tire as the people, most of the young people, because the struggle must always be in progress. The struggle must continue, even if we are gone with the young people. But the Gen Alpha must continue the struggle, because there are people who want to compromise people's opinion. They want to compromise the system, because how do you apply justice selectively because someone has differed with you in opinion? That one should not. Even regarding Gachagua himself, when he was the DP, he was being used by the regime to apply justice selectively to people who are fighting for the people. So he must also be aware that we are watching closely. Whatever he did while he was the DP is rightly now being applied to him. So whenever you get an opportunity to serve the people of Kenya or in an office, public office, do not apply justice selectively to the citizens. Try to be someone who must allow the justice system to operate independently, and not only selectively but also transformatively.
Okay, Thank you so much. And you know, I saw Laban has written something that is okay, because like everybody, when you look at Kenyans, especially the Kenyans, the voters, they've gone through a lot. And I was just listening somewhere, especially when it comes to the election, things to do with violence. The people who suffer the most are the voters. And one thing that the violence especially does, especially when the violence, especially like electoral violence, what does it do? One, it suppresses the votes. You know that, because once there's a violence, people will not vote. Some people will tell you, say, okay, we know these are hot areas or spot areas, so we need to move back to our natives where we feel we are safe. So, and you find that you're not going to vote because where you're going is not your polling station, you know. So those are some of the things that we have to look at. And another thing that also we want to talk about, also to think about the respect. You know, as leaders, sometimes you have to to give fellow leaders respect, because we know one, Miguda, you talked about the constitution and the multipartyism. The main reason why the multipartyism came to Kenya, and for those who learn, one, to give you options, especially not to have monolithic political party, because you remember before multi-party we had a monolithic. It was a political party. You have to only have one political party where you have to vie, whereby you cannot have option to elect other leaders. But with multipartyism, it opened windows for so many political parties. Anybody who can meet the criteria of having a political party, then you will be registered. And if indeed the political party of Rigathi Gachagua has been registered and passed through the registry of political parties, which means they've passed the requirement that has been laid down by the constitution. And that's why it's registered. And I don't think the tribal part of it was a qualification of it to, if at all, that the political party, one of the qualification could have been like, your party need not to be a tribal party, then you're not going to register. Then his party could have not been registered. I don't know whether it is registered. That is my question, because it has passed all the requirement that is the law has provided. So which means it's not a tribal party. Or Miguda, or what do you think, Makobura? Then Miguda can weigh in on that thought too.
I fully understand the process of registering a political party, and I can tell you, it is not an easy process. You will come up, you even share the constitution of that particular party. You have to share the members, the list of the members. You have to come up with several symbols. You have to give quite a number of symbols, and the register of political party will tell you that no, this is not the right one. You have to tell them the view and the aspiration of that party. They have to go through it. They have to go through the constitution of the party until they find that everything that is in that constitution is aligned with the constitution of the Republic of Kenya and does not go against the rights of the people of Kenya, and also does not in any way divide the people of Kenya. And also, that party must not show any, must be a party that is not associated with a specific tribe. Because normally, one of the processes, you must have at least signatures of people from 20, I think it's 20 counties in the Republic of Kenya. So for someone to go through all the process until they get to a point where their party is now officially registered, it is a party that has gone through a lot, and that's a party that is accepted in the Republic of Kenya. It is very strict for the register of political party to just give in or allow parties to be registered anyhow. But again, that said and done, I can also admit here that as much as all those things are done, we've seen instances where the political parties are also being used to, of course, to carry on with tribal intentions and all those kind of things. I don't think there's anyone in his normal senses in the Republic of Kenya would want to do that. But what I can say is that more of these political parties, of course, they are made with the intentions of getting to acquire power. And especially when you're going for the presidential election, it is, anybody with a serious mind would want to unite the people of Kenya, would want the support of others coming from other regions. So what I want to say in this issue of tribe, it is not vague, but the truth of the matter is that our political parties, or the politics that is being played in the Republic of Kenya, it is a region-based political mind. It is tribal-based, political approach, and that's a fact. If, for example, we speak about the party of the president, that is the UDA. The UDA, majority of people, when the president got into power, the majority of people who got the opportunity in that government truth be told, they are all majority from the Kalenjin community, and that's a fact. And since they came, the two of them, Rigathi Gachagua was the deputy. The other region that got majority of people, of course, was the Mount Kenya region, and those are facts. Just because the UDA brought the president and the deputy coming from different regions. Again, let's come to the ODM party. The ODM party recently got into an agreement with the national government, and they're now in a broad-based kind of government. The experts that were donated to this government, we can say the truth. They are all from ODM. If they are all from ODM, and what does that tell you? You've had people from ODM from other regions saying that majority of those positions were given to the Luhya Nyanza because the party leader comes from that region. We've had such kind of comments. And so we have to accept one thing, that we are trying our level best as the people of Kenya to get out of politics of tribe, politics of region. We are trying to get out of, politics that unites, but we've not gotten to that extent. We are still really in need of support base from the regions where we come from, and that is what has caused more of the problems that we are having. And of course, Gachagua understands that. That is the politics that is played in the Republic of Kenya. And I don't think it is wrong for him to, seek for support from his members or people from his region before fully getting into the to the environment of national politics. I think that is what he did. You saw him hovering all over Mount Kenya region, and then the other day they were now starting to get to Western region, but of course they did not really manage. But I'm quite sure that they are still going to continue with that. If we speak about, for example, ODM, Raila always gets back to his home ground. He ensures that they are intact before getting out to other regions and telling them that, this, as much as he is the party leader coming from the Nyanza region, and he has got deputy party leader from the coast and all those other regions, he always tell the Nyanza region that let us first ensure that we are together before we go to the coast, and tell the people of course that we need to be, together. So let us accept one thing. It is the politics that is being played in the Republic of Kenya. The question we are supposed to ask is, to which extent, to which level are we playing it?
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. I want you also to answer me, because do you think, especially the Kenyan population, do not know what is happening, that when such like debates are brought into the National Assembly, whereby there's this discussion, and to make people believe, especially that the political party by Rigathi Gachagua is the only tribal party that we might be having in the country. That is one. And then secondly, when you're looking at the constitution, especially for you to come up with a political party until it is registered, what makes you qualify? Because I think there are those criteria that have been laid down for you, especially those who want to register a political party.
In my view, I still believe that it was politics in the August House.
Yeah.
They have suspended the business of the day, and now they were discussing politics, because we understand that Rigathi Gachagua apply actually all the criteria required for a political to be registered, and he got all things like what Makubra stated: symbols, the name, the slogan, membership, leadership, and actually it was accepted. And just like any other political party, there's nothing much different from DCP, because even if right now you want us to discuss those political parties, even ODM, we can even say Odinga Democratic Movement. You can even say it is maybe only Dictators Movement. There are many ways you can include those names, so it's not a big deal. Wiper can also be named, maybe. There are so many things you can, even UDA, people can even decide to say It is Ujinga Democratic Movement, and the people move on. So nothing's wrong with them saying that it is a district committee party or a district commissioner party, but the names remain the same. It is Democratic Citizen Party, I think so. UDS, the United Democratic Movement, and that's what has been deposited in the political party register, not the things like district committee party. I just believe that it was politics in the August House, whereby people decide to play politics. And also, you understand, Parliament can be a very good avenue because it is live streaming. Now people can stream live how they are trying to tarnish the DCP. Because today they were not having any rally where they could talk about DCP. So they are using all platform to ensure that they are dealing with their opponent without mercy. I think that could be the reason why they decide to bring the issue of politics into the August House, because even they will that this politics, see, it is just a political move and a political establishment in the country. At the same time, the DCP were crying. I saw them crying that Kenya is a multi-party democracy and they have a right to form political party. But you understand, the more you talked about something, the more you make it big and you make it relevant, other than ignoring it. I think, I still believe that the DCP, if it can be discussed in the August House, that's a clear indication that it is going somewhere. At least in the forthcoming election, it will have people representing it into the August House. But let me give you a story. Yesterday, I traveled somewhere, and when I was having a discussion, I went to visit someone. Some of my pastor, they had a road accident, so we went to pay them courtesy call. When we were having a discussion with other people, actually they are Kisii people, so I met a very good number of the Kisii people. Then we were asking ourselves, which party do you belong to? And an old man from Kisii told me that he's a DCP member. So if an old man has already embraced the DCP party, because we understand the current wave in Kisii, the Matiang'i, the DCP party, so most of the elder people, they have got into the DCP they have technically there. So it is something that has gone beyond Mount Kenya. In the ground, you find that people like the Kisii people are embracing the DCP. And I asked him, which party were you before the DCP came? Because you are an old man. He told me, initially, I was in ODM and I've supported Raila for a long time. But now, let me go to DCP. So it means there are some people who have come out of ODM, though few, but majority of the people in UDA have gone to DCP. So in my analysis, I concluded by telling the people whom you are with that actually you have seen now the wave of the DCP is getting some roots even in the Gusii land. So when we were coming back, we were still discussing the issue of political parties. And we asked ourselves, if that Olumze has already embraced the DCP, this is how sometimes Kenyan people, and they were telling us, you people, you are now going to host Madaraka Day at Homa Bay. What is your thoughts? We told them, with us, there's nothing problem because Madaraka is a national event and we welcome each and every Kenyan to celebrate. So in my view, I believe that if DCP can be discussed in the August House, it's been discussed in the meetings, Baraza. So it's something that has come and people are talking about it. So it's going to grow. Unlike regarding Gachagua, remember there are two incidents. Gachagua without a political party, Gachagua without a political leader, but Gachagua with a political party and a political party leader. So it's something that has come, and some people will get into DCP, and actually I can confirm to you that DCP got people, not that DCP is an empty shell. It's not an empty shell. There are people who have embraced and they are going to vote for DCP, and they are part and parcel of the.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Migud. I think you had a problem there, but this is just like something to remind everything. What I would say is, at the end of the day, it is the Kenyan people to decide whether they will vote for DCP or whoever the political party they want to join. That is our view. But also, you have also to remember in the history, especially the new political parties that are usually formed, especially after disagreement, they tend to do well. Yeah, I can remember very well when the President William Ruto and the former president disagreed. When the president came with the UDA, yeah, there are so many things that were said about the UDA. We were here because we were on this platform, and we saw how, and it took the president himself to brand the UDA, to where it is. It was not very easy because this was a political party, and even the opponent of the president then, some of them are now have joined it in the in the government. They used to call this the UDA was, they were saying it is a tribal party. Remember, yeah. In the initial stages when president was building up UDA, and if you look at the political history of our country, the party that was more influential within a short period of time was UDA. And this was done even with the Infotrak. The Popular Party within a short period of time. Yeah, because I know it was a party, then the president, I think like he got it, I think he might have got it from Northeastern, I think so. Somebody had it in Northeastern, then president rebranded the party. Within a short period of time, less than a year, UDA was the most influential and the most talked about political party within a short period of time, despite the fact that even the opponent of the president then was calling it as a tribal party. So when it comes to issue to do with the tribal parties and tribe and regionalism, it is the art of our politics. And the way my good friend Miguda said, like in the parliament, it was the politics was in parliament. Let me see what our good friend is saying here. Gachagua is the same for our country. Okay, Miguda, don't cheat me, I'm old. What did Miguda say? Let me see what Miguda say. Let me bring it at the on the screen. What is Laban saying? Makubura, can you bring it on the screen? Okay, let me see. This is Miguda, don't cheat me, old enough to tell you in Kisi we are not there, including myself, to tell you this, be a single sympathizer. Oh, this is a mountain agenda. Oh, okay. Let me see. Most of the people who have joined DCP are rejects from other parties, but that was, like that what usually happens, especially when you like a political party, that when a political party is formed. Remember when the UDA was formed, the majority of people who joined UDA were from Jubilee, yeah, and the way when they were in Jubilee, they were having a dissenting view with the Jubilee then, whereby there was Tangatanga and Kieleweke. Remember, the Tangatanga wing was led by the president currently. He was a deputy then, and the Kieleweke wing was led by the former president. And it was back and forth. And I think, like, I remember those days they had like women groups. I don't know how they can you remind me? I forgot where the Tangatanga had their women, where they used to give gas cookers. They would, it was so much political activity to outsmart each and every group, and that was during the branding of UDA. So I think it is the art of politics that they've mastered, and let's wait and see to see how the DCP will make it, especially from the deputy president side.
Benson, let me clarify one thing there.
Yeah.
I never said the entire Gusii region. I was even clear that I met an old man, Amze. So that was his opinion, not the entire committee opinion. Laban Misiani, I think I've made it very clear that I met Amze. We were having a chat, not the entire committee. I never assembled the entire Gusii to have a chat with. I was only speaking to Amze.
Okay.
And that is his opinion, and he's entitled to his opinion.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you everyone. If you're here for the very first time, kindly subscribe and support the channel. This is Brother Benson. But today, now let's go to the topic of the day. We have Natembeya, and Natembeya yesterday toured the better part of Western Kenya, and the reception was massive. And so many analysis that has been given is showing that Natembeya is becoming the kingpinship or the king of Western Kenya with his Tawe movement. I don't know whether that one is true or that one is not true, but something that we have to look at it very keenly. When the incident of Natembeya happened, immediately he was released from jail or from jail. Yeah, he did not go to the ground immediately, which some other politicians usually do, because by the time something happen and you're just released immediately, what happens is that you're going when the ground is still in a high tempo, but he waited until it cooled down, then he went. But if you look at reception that Natembeya got, especially in Western Kenya, it was massive. And maybe to start with you, Makobura, what do you think about the reception of Natembeya?
Okay, thank you. The reception of Natembeya was a massive one, I think, based on the thoughts of the people and the current situation of politics, and also the true the true reflection of what is happening on the ground. Natembeya has been speaking issues that most of politicians are not speaking about. He's been telling the national government that, and of course led by the president, that the people of Kenya are suffering, and is given several reasons why I think that the people of Kenya are suffering. He has mentioned so many times, he has explained actually the politics of the Western region, where at some point I remember him saying that being represented by, just because the Speaker of the National Assembly is coming from the Western region, just because the Prime Cabinet Secretary is coming from the Western region, that does not mean that all the Western people are enjoying life. And he said that those two individuals, those people who are in government, it is them and their families who are enjoying. But the people on ground are actually suffering. And I've heard him also made several calls saying that the people of Western region are not getting development, that their top leadership in government are not fighting, are not bringing developments in Western region. And when he makes this kind of announcement, the people, I think, find him as a truthful man, or someone is speaking for them, because the truth of the matter is that there are no developments in the Western region. There are no opportunities for the young people. There is high growth of population, but the high level of unemployment, bad infrastructure, and so many problems that the people of Western, and not just the people of Western, but the people of entire Kenya are going through. So, he's been representing the views of the people, talking about, these sugar industries which the government want to lease, and, he's giving them reasons why it is not good, that there are other other companies like Pan Paper that were leased, and they died. The companies never benefited the people. And these are some of the things that has made Natembeya to be liked by the people from the Western region. And he's also coming in at a time when the people of Western has had Honorable Mudavadi for quite a number of years. They've been in government, and they feel that truly these gentlemen or leaders have not been bringing development on the ground. And so he's trying to ride on that, calling them out and reminding them that you've had the opportunity. Kindly get out of the space and let the new people with the new ideas, people who can fight, people who can bring opportunities back home, be given the opportunities. And that's why you see him consistently reminding the president. And the other day he was arrested, and if you try look at the main reason why he was arrested, there is nothing serious that is coming out that he had violated. There is no any.
How do you know? Let's wait for the courts to decide.
I'm getting to that. I'm not actually getting into the court's ruling, but I'm giving you the reason why I think so. If you try look into the reason why he was being arrested, this is something that we've always talked about here, about a tender of, some amount of money of 1.2 or 1.4 billion And this money, of course, is doing some developments in the county government of Trans Nzoia. And there are 3 projects which are ongoing. And that money was used in those in those development activities that the people wanted. I can get the facts here just a minute so that we speak from truth. You remember the issue of you remember the allegation of the reason why he was arrested. Of course, it was an
But no,
allegation of regulatory
okay,
procurement of
let,
an amount of 1.4 billion. And
okay.
so this is the issue, because me, I've actually studied what is happening there.
Mhm.
The 1.4 billion issue that is bringing issue that made the ESCC to call him
Yeah.
to ask, or I mean to give clarification.
Mhm.
Of course, I've mentioned those 3 projects. One is called the rehabilitation and modernization of Kenyatta Stadium, and one is the construction of Trans Nzoia County Headquarters Office and construction of Tom Mboya Hospital.
Yeah.
This is something that is on the limelight, and anyone can go and check. These are projects which are ongoing. Why do you investigate a project that is ongoing and then you say that 1.4 billion was used in those particular projects,
But
and they were not used the right way?
Makobura,
Of the matter is, allow me to finish. The truth of the matter is, the best thing that is, the ESCC, or those people are concerned, are supposed to do, they're supposed to wait for the completion of these particular projects. They do evaluation of the same, and then if they get that the evaluation is not matching what was given, then it is then good to come out and arrest, because this is not just the only governor that was arrested. I mean, that has been accused of the same. There are so many governors that have messed up with a lot of money, and we're not seeing them being arrested. There are so many of them that started projects, and there is no project to be seen. At least these are projects which are ongoing. So I think this is a political motivated arrest, and the people on ground are actually seeing it as something that is not making sense to them. And that is part of the reason why they're coming down to accept the movement of Tawi, because of that political bit in it.
Okay, now when you talk of projects that are usually going, because like sometimes what usually happens, because I've been in the project, especially on when I was in charge of another project that was taking place back in Kisumu. What usually happens is what we call valuation report. When you are doing a project, you have to get the valuation report. Yeah. So after getting the valuation report, you can get a valuation that is going to give you the total value of that particular project upon completion. Yeah. That if this project is completed for when we do this project is completed, we are talking of 10 billion. Yeah. Then in the process of doing that is upon completion, there is what we call also the stage phases of inspection or phases of valuation. So let's say, for example, because I can remember there was a time there was a almost flats that were being built. So what usually happens was that the bank could not release the money or all the money to the project, because the valuation showed like upon completion, this is what we are going. So the money was going to be released on the stages. So what was going to happen is that we are going to complete maybe the first stage, maybe the first floor. And this first floor, what is going to inform us on what you've used, we are going to look at the BQs, how you're going to use the BQs, and the BQs will give us the value and the materials that we are going to use to complete that first floor. So what happens is that we are going to give you value based on the BQ on the first floor of that building. So what happens, maybe I'm not sure, but at times can come whereby you can come to the project and you find that when you're doing your second evaluation, especially to look at the money that has been given with what has been completed, the first phase, you find that it is not matching. So that one can also happen in this kind of like incidences. I'm not saying that is what happened, but especially when when you're doing such like project, such like information are usually there.
Yeah, I understand. I know, actually understand the process of, for example, building, and especially when you've been funded by the banks. Of course, the BQs has a clarification and the steps which are needed for you to do the completion of that particular project. And one thing that I also understand is that, for example, if you're doing a project of building a house, the bank will see the BQs and what is needed for the foundation up to the foundation level, and they will do what we call release of the amount that is going to, cater for the cost of that particular foundation, and then from there, of course, the walling, and then the finishing bit. So I fully understand that, but my issue here is uh, my issue here is we have quite a number of politicians, and not just politicians. We've got quite a number of governors that are doing projects and have been accused of so many things. And part of those things that they have been accused is mismanagement of resources of the county governments, and not just the governors. We've seen even members of parliament being getting into very shady deals. Some of them corrupt dealings, and not just corrupt dealings, but we've even seen some of them going against the rights of fellow Kenyans. Some of them have even been accused of, murder and those many things. And some of them have been accused of, misusing public money. We've got quite a number of them. More of them, we are just seeing them working with the president, like this gentleman, member of parliament, Mr. Member of Parliament Waluke. There is no any justification of why that member of parliament should not be in prison or answering to the accusations that he had. And not just him, we've got quite a number of even cabinet secretaries. So, and we're seeing them simply because they are on the side of the president, simply because they are working with the president and reminding the people that here is where the power is, and acknowledging that power, when you are close to power, everything is possible. So I don't think it is right. To me, I see it as a double standard way of handling others, and it is not right. Migoda, what is your take on that?
Like I've said, I got two opinions. One, I was saying, if at all the accusation were factual, then we leave it to the criminal justice system to leave it to the court. And right now the matter is in court. We'll find out the rulings by the court. And if they are just political wishes, then they will be dealt with at that level. I think that was my opinion.
Okay, Miguda, I'll come back to you, and I think I just want to give your opinion on what do you think are the interests of the Western region, the people of Western. What do you think are their interests? Why is it that at this particular time they are no longer, they are answering to the calls of Natembeya and his Tawe movement? We've seen him getting quite a number of reception in different counties. Some of the counties where he's not even the governor. Like we saw him in Kakamega, we saw him in Bungoma, and a massive kind of welcoming that we are seeing in these regions. Could he be speaking to the ears of the people? Could he be representing the views of the people? Maybe what you can give us your take on what do you think on the interest of the people of Western, and why you think or why you think they're accepting the movement of Tawe and of course Natembeya, who is a newcomer into the field of politics?
In Western region, I can just say, not that they are interests, but they have different interests. And the fact that the region, to me, I view the people of the Western to be liberals and to be more of Democrats. Because with them, they are not following one person or they don't have a single party in their region. They are diverse even in their political formations. You'll find that if you go to Western province, you'll find there is Ford Kenya, there's DAP, there's ODM, there's even Jubilee. Well, Lucas from Jubilee, there's even UDA people there. So at the end of the day, you find that they are Democrats. They are not people who are being micromanaged. You can have, provided your interests, even there are people from ANC who follow their party. So provided there is an interest of yours, you are good to go. It is in Central whereby you find, in Western where you find Kakamega governor is ODM and Kakamega senator is UDA person. So I believe that they are Democrats and they are flexible, provided that you are aligning with the wave within your region, you are good to go. Like if you are in Bungoma, if you are in Fort Kenya, you will be elected. If you are in Kakamega ODM, you will be elected. And there are some region, if you are in Fort Kenya, maybe Jubilee UDA like Kabuchai, Kandui, your chances of being elected are high, like another region. So I just believe that the people of Western region are Democrats and they've allowed people also to penetrate their region. They have allowed people from outside the region to have actually seats like governors with the different political parties. And if you ask them, even them, actually they don't know what they want, they don't know their interest, because right now they are pro Natembeya people who believe that Natembeya has come to salvage them from the status quo, from Wetangula, from Davadi, who have been there for a quite long time and on behalf of community, but actually they are not translating the needs of the people on the ground. Natembeya has come like someone, a savior, in my view, to a certain people. But even though Natembeya is trying to traverse the Western region and trying to advocate for the equity at the national level, but remember, there are people who have aligned to Wetangula, Mudavadi, and actually in that Western region we are talking about, there are people who are aligned to Raila Odinga, and even there are people who are going to be re-elected with ODM party in Western region. The entire Western region is not going to be taken by the DAP or the Ford Kenya or the DCP. Raila Odinga is going to have at least 3 governors from Western region. The ODM is likely to take 3 governors from Western region. So that's, I can tell you that you can't conclude that Natembeya has taken the people. Where? And Natembeya has taken the people, but Natembeya is also seeking for the re-election as the Trans Nzoia governor. You want to get the second term. And when we be focusing on the second term, I don't think you'll have time to traverse the entire Western region. The people of Western region, in my view, they are people who can work with you, provided you are advocating for the interests of people at different level. And remember the issue in Trans Nzoia. Trans Nzoia is not the dominant people. I know there were people of Abaluya, or I don't know their sub-tribes. But in Trans Nzoia, it is cosmopolitan. We have the Sabaot. Actually, even the Sabaot are also many there. We have the Sabaot. They are the so-called the Luhya and the sub-tribes. The Kikuyus are there. The Kalenjins, the Kipsigis. So you find out that when Natembeya is speaking, Natembeya is having that global perspective of the country. When he's talking about Tawe movement, does not only speak to the Luhya people, but also he speaks to the loyalists of the DCP, because the Kikus in that region at the DCP are likely going to vote for him. The Sabahot are there. You understand the issue of the senator, Alan Chesang. There are so many factors that have made Natembeya to speak, but when he's going to defend his gubernatorial seat, he's going to make it. But if you want to put it that Natembeya is going to sweep every political party in that region, I don't see it forthcoming. because there are people who have remained adamant Raila supporters. There are people who have remained adamant Pilato supporters. The Pilato, you know the Pilato, Papa Roma. The people who understand that the only person who will salvage them is Papa Roma. But we are asking the question, for how long? Papa Roma has been there for a quite long time, up to now. When is that time? He's aging out. The best he can do is become the third in command, the Speaker of the National. He cannot go beyond the Speaker of the National Assembly. And people should also think otherwise. They should reconsider Natembeya. They should reconsider other upcoming leaders. I think that's the way for the people of Western Kenya, but you cannot state that the people of Western Kenya are speaking in one voice. Actually, they are not speaking in one voice. They have been divided, and the political class have managed to divide them, depending on which political party your interest favors you.
Okay, thank you. Now that you've mentioned something about ODM, of course, we understand that Raila Amolo Odinga has had quite a number of support base from the Western region, and ODM actually is the biggest in Western region. And now, with the influence of Natembeya and consistency that we are seeing him moving around, and of course, reminding the people that, even according to his statement, that Raila has not also represented their views. And when it comes to giving what they've gotten from the government, they give it to people from other regions. He's also coming out to call them and to remind them that they need to speak as a group, speak together. According to him, if they speak together, they're going to have the bargaining power. And it seems from what we are seeing that, he's getting quite a good reception. My question to you is, are you seeing a possibility of Natembeya finishing the politics of Raila Amolo Odinga in the Western region or ODM? Do you think the Western people can decamp and join the Natembeya Tawe movement? Egoda?
Finishing ODM in Western region is not going to be a walk in the park, because the entire Busia County, you understand, there are some constituencies like the Budalangi, whereby you'll find that 70% of the voters are Luos. How are you going to finish the ODM in Western province? That is far-fetched. That's a dream which is not forthcoming. ODM will still retain some of the seats in the Western province. That I can promise you. And it is deep. It is beyond political party. The people of Western and the Luos people, they have interacted to understand that there is that intermarriage between them. And many of the Luo women have been intermarried into Luhya nation, and even the Luhya people have been married into Luo nation. And they are so much united. They are united beyond politics. And I can just assure you that you have asked me about the issue of the interest, that Raila has never represented the Western people's interests. And the question I'll ask you back is where? And also I'll ask you that, does it mean that the interests of the Western people are solely, are their interests not the similar interests of the Kikuyus, of the Luos, of the Somalis? I think the interests of the people tend to be similar. You are like making it that the Western peoples have a solely interest that are not similar to the people of Luos, because people need infrastructures, people need employment, people need many things to be done to them, and that's why you are saying the issue of we were tribeless. Because if you want to put the context of tribalism, that the Western people, the Sabaot, the Nandi, the Kipsigis, you are going to lose the conversation. Because when we have unemployment, it affects each and every tribe. The issue of infrastructure, even if I'm not residing in Western region, but I can use their roads to access my activities. maybe I want to visit some of my relatives, or even I want to go to Moist Bridge. I must use those roads to go to Moist Bridge to do my businesses. Therefore, it affects everybody, even the issue of good governance, social justice, democracy. It cut across. But if you want to act like someone is coming to tell you that the Western interests, the Gikuyu's interests, we are going to lose the conversation as the young people. That was the politics which was played by those our elders, brothers. And Natembeya's might also, even the interest he want to represent is similar. If he's talking about the issue of unemployment, the issue of promotions, even me, I want promotion. Even me, I want employment. Even me, I want good infrastructure. I want better medical facilities. I want good education. It cut across for Kenya. So we should debate on the issue of Natembeya is coming out to advocate for the Kenyans' interests, not the Western interests. But I strongly believe that Natembeya cannot sweep the entire Western region and chase ODM permanently, and even chase parties like Ford Kenya permanently. There are going to be some counties and some sub-counties which are going to be ruled by the ODM and the Ford Kenya. But for him, what I'm sure is that Natembeya is going to get the second term. If at all he's going to seek for re-election, the people are going to vote for him overwhelmed, because the Trans Nzoia people are not only Western people, but also there are so many tribes apart from Western. And in fact, even the Kikuyu nation are making significant votes in Trans Nzoia. Even the Sabaot people are also significant in numbers. So if you are a governor, you need to balance. You need to be a global governor. You don't need to be a tribal governor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, good. Maybe I'll engage you. I'll give you a chance to just give your take on, of course, what is going on between Kenya and Tanzania for a minute, and then you'll give us your final remarks.
What is going on between Kenya and Tanzania, in my perspective, it is a friendly match, and I like it because we need to understand each other. We need to knock each other as neighbors. It is good for us to engage violently or to engage peacefully, depending on that we do not cross anyone's border, provided that there is no contravening of international laws, there's no contravening of the international treaties. It is good to argue as neighbors, because how can we know our weaknesses and our strength if you're not? Because now, right now, you have found some lawmakers in Tanzania are castigating us. So we at least we understand where we should at least adjust, and also we should know where we are strong. It is good for the neighbors to argue, to challenge each other. To me, is I take it as a friendly match whereby we are trying to test each other's weak spot. But that is good for the people of neighboring country to engage robustly. And also, because even though we are engaging, if you look at the condition of our transportation of goods and services, they are on. They have not been invalidated. So it is good for us to sometimes engage. I think that's how I can state it.
There's a comment here from Laban. Laban is saying, I think he wants you to give your opinion on the abduction of Juja member of parliament.
That one I don't have the rightful intel right now, but I can just report to our viewers that in case something like that had happened, either stage managed or not, it should not happen, because even you, if you're stage managing it, what signal do you send to the members of the public? And if at all it happened from the authorities, then I think it's something that we have said that it has stopped, and none other than the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, told us that abductions have stopped, and each and every person who's abducted, they have been reunited to their families. So I think it's something that it has been overtaken by events, and I can't report it right now because I don't have the rightful intel. We will discuss it when we get it. Back to you.
Okay, maybe your final remarks before you come in. Yeah, before we close, there's also a comment here from Gypsy Kone saying, what is happening in Tanzania and Kenya is through outside Western noises. What is former Prime Minister of UK, Tony Blair, Uhuru, and Ruto meeting for? Maybe you can give your take on that as you give your final remarks.
Like I've said, to me, that's why I say to me, it's like we are engaging with our neighbors. Initially talked about the issue of violation of the rights of the people, the issue of extradition, the issue of going to someone's neighbor and trying to also cause mayhem, the detention of Tindu Elisu. Of course, there can be some influence from the Western, and the interest also of the regional interest can happen. The factor of Ruto, the factor of Uhuru. So it's a game of possibility, and it is all politics and interest. I think that's what's happening. But also, the question you asked me was on the Kenyan people and the Tanzanian people engaging maybe in the parliament, the people like Sifuna, people like the MPs from Tanzania. So to me, that engagement or that exchange of words is just like a friendly match between the two neighboring countries. I think that's my thought. Lastly, I would just like to state that we, the people of Kenya and the people of the East African, we should understand that whenever a leader is rising for the issue of Natembeya, we should not focus on your region alone, but we should also focus on the entire country. It's very important because, like you have asked me, the interest of the Western people. So, if we elect him, is he going to advocate for the Western people's interest of the entire country? So, whenever you are emerging as a leader or whenever you are coming out, you should always put the entire nation at heart. Do not put the one nation at heart, maybe your nation, the Luo nation, the Kiku's nation, the Kales nation, or the Aluyas nation. Just have the entire nation at heart. That is when you can be a leader, even though the people might dislike you based on the arrangements and based on the political party or the tribal things, because we have a history of tribal things in our country. But always tend to have that heart whereby you wish the entire nation to be represented. Their interests must be represented at the national level. Do not come with this narrative of Western interest, Kikuyu's interest, Luo's interest, Kale's interest. No, allow it to be a conversation of the entire nation, whereby each and every person has a right to be represented, and each and every person has an interest to be catered for. Because if you deny the Somalis people to be employed, and you're only employing the Kambal people, now you are messing the country. It should be based on meritocracy, whereby you allow competition among the people. Anybody who is merited should be accommodated. I think that is how we should now transform the right conversation, that we should move from the Western people, the Kikuyu nation, my people, our community. We let us make it a Kenyan thing. Makubura, see you next time. And everybody who have come to the show, I can't access my screen, but I can just tell you that we are grateful for you and we wish you all the best. And we are anticipating Madaraka Day. We will be there. I will be there personally, and we will brief you accordingly. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. And I also want to take this opportunity to remind our viewers that this is Brother Benson Media. And here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel because it is a way of supporting us and we'll really appreciate. I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to Gypsy Corner, Laban Misiani, Brenda Obedi, Felix Onyango, and everyone who joined us this evening, and especially those of you who have engaged us at the comment section. We really appreciate, and we hope that you'll be joining us as we'll be continuing this kind of conversation. We really, really appreciate. Just want to take this opportunity now to wish you all a blessed evening, a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.